Alright. Okay, so if we were to do RTA, right? If we were to do RTA, this is kind of interesting, right? Just blah 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 blah. So this is Ben, alright? Ben, this is first pick, and this is last pick. Alright. So 99.999999999% of the time, you are most likely gonna be seeing Hilde getting banned, Eliza getting banned. It's usually these two. Is the most common. Sometimes players might ban Eliza if they don't want to deal with the revive. Cleavers might ban Roberta. Right? Cleavers might ban Roberta because she's basically before any cleave. But these two are the most common. Right? You almost never ever see them, right? So if there are no bans, so let's just assume that it is like a free draw, right? First pick priority, generally speaking, it tends to be Ellie. She is usually always first pick. Because if you... Okay, this feels a little bit like RTA... School of RTA. Like in like Epic 7. Like an RTA simulator. But a lot of ways that this could go. Because as of right now, global server players haven't developed their roster yet. But I can basically see this happening. If you do get first pick and Ellie is not banned, you always pick Ellie. She is the #1 priority in a first pick. If you are a turn 2 player and the opponent picked Ellie, assume they did pick Ellie, your next pick is basically Welts into Hilde. So this is very, very common. Right? This is a common setup. So when this happens, the Ellie player, you can either decide to play standard. You can play standard with Bell into... either most common is either Bell Lacy, right? This is very common, or you go for Bell plus a unit like there's like more neutral, like either any of these bunnies. They are pretty good, depending on what you actually have, right? You don't really ever pick Roberta on second pick because you always use it to counter, right? You want to see what the opponent does. So for example, if this player for first pick, if they pick up Lacy into Bell plus Ellie into Bell plus Lacy, then your last pick, it is definitely going to be Roberta because you have double AoE, triple AoE actually. So Roberta is going to be super strong here. And you either stabilize with a Ellie yourself to try to play tank down, or you can just go for double DPS, right? Or rather this. So it's either this or this, depending. Then you have also some niche picks, like you have Haiti to play like true tank down. So it's usually Haiti plus Eliza. Where's Eliza? Yeah. So it's either one of these two. Or you could go for some strange picks. Like for example, players might run like a caster, right? They can pivot into caster for Dana or Luna. This plus this. So these two are like very, very standard for playing cleaves. And the moment you secure Roberta, it means that they do not have Roberta, right? So if whichever one of these casters you pick, they will be very, very strong. Because they don't really have a way to deal with this, right? So assuming you picked up Dana, right? Let's just say you picked up Dana and you picked up Roberta. Then for the first pick player over here, you kind of need to try to stabilize because you are almost definitely getting your Ellie banned. So you try to stabilize with Eliza yourself. And then your last pick is probably your own mage, right? You try to get your own mage. So most likely you're going to pick up the Luna if you have it. Because you're going to ban Gala Ashura. Try to ban Ashura. It's either this or you ban on your Roberta. Right, you ban on Roberta. So then the last pick over here, it can kind of be whatever they have. Me personally, I personally feel if I was up against a team like this, I would go for elemental advantage, knowing that I will ban Ellie, right? Because these are 3 cosmics, which is a very, very strong team. So I will try to kill Bell as fast as possible. So we're gonna go with the Bunny Charlotte, because this is a super good pick to get your Bell, right? So there is like a RTA simulation, assuming nothing gets banned. But the moment you ban like either of these two, then it will become like very, very different. So that is the way that I can describe it. Yep, that is the way I can describe it, right? Thank you, chat. Welcome to the School of RTA. You made 8900 with Emily. That is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy. What do you think about Tykra Tierlist? Is it this one? No, it's not this, right? Tykra Tierlist. Oh, this website. First of all, Antler, it is time to look into copyright, because this reminds me a little bit of private. Personally speaking, Second of all, their characters are like very empty. Like they don't update anything for the units kits. So like even units are like lazy, right? I don't even see skill information. Then what's the fucking point, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole point of playing a database website is to have fucking skill information, right? I can't even see this. They only have builds, which I guess is better than nothing, but like there's no such thing as this. And then for all of the newer characters, or not even newer characters, like older characters, they also don't have it. Yeah. So like probably like a one-man kind of scenario. But in any case, this tier list, I believe they basically yoinked it from Bullet. So it's very, very comparable over there. But the more fluid parts is like usually A and B. Like tier 0 and tier SS, these two, they are very, very fixed. So there's not a lot of like difference, generally speaking. It's always almost gonna be the same. Because there are only that many tier 0s. Right? Then the more fluid ones are like A and B, because like the line is very hard to tell. And then S is kind of like almost median roster. So like the majority of the mid, right? The definition of mid, they will probably stay around S tier. But it's also like pretty debatable, right? But your top 2 is usually very, very consistent. Yeah, our top 2 is usually very, very consistent. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, but okay, personally, I legit think Eliza is like actually more useful than Lazy. She is like super, super nice. Okay, not gonna lie, this PvP tier list is really, really good. Yeah, this PvP tier list is really, really good. I'll probably drop Sierra down a little bit more, because if you pick Sierra, it means the enemy will know you're gonna play Cleave. Because only Cleavers run Sierra. Alright, you run her for the action very advanced. So the moment you pick her, it's like, oh, okay, I'll just join Robola and all that kind of stuff. And if you are playing Cleave, you won't pick Robola. So she will let go of like what you're trying to run. I don't think Charlotte is that good anymore, because she only has attack now, as well as the crit rate and an attack buff. So probably move it down a little bit here. Petra also feels a bit sus. Mew and Kyra is pretty good though. So yeah, but generally here is pretty chill. They aren't ready for a Vitality build Sierra. Sierra's kit is honestly fine. It's just that I feel they could have given her more personal damage. It's like how they did it with Bunny Girl Charlotte. She also has the extra turn, but it's like team-wide attack buff, and she has extra flop attack. But Sierra is like, okay, if this was a 1.0 buffer, this is a 2.0 buffer. So they could give her a little bit more personal damage. Otherwise, it's like, it feels a little bit laggy. But in PvP, she's still quite manageable because of the AV advance. So yeah. The website is really nice, by the way. This is a very, very nice tier list. But I just wish that you have skill descriptions. Because that would make life a lot easier. Because right now, from what I use, I'm using this website from JP. So I have to fucking Google Translate everything. Like, this is the website that has like all the deals, which I think by itself is really, really good. So I don't really trust that tier list. This is like game 8 tier list, so it is what it is. But like they have everything, right? So all these things, like the abilities, the effects. But unfortunately, it is like translated with like Google Translate, so I don't even think it's like fully accurate. But it will be huge if there is like this thing in like an EN server. Yep. And Prywin gave up, right? Andra is just playing Tricao now, right? Right? Yeah, we are doing Speaky guides. So, and then what to do. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for this. This is a WS tier list for PvP at least. Very, very nice. Oi! Oi! This light cone. Okay, I'm so sorry, but bro, this light cone. If you play Defender class, she is the same level of priority as Kira's light cone. And Kira's light cone is a must-have for assassins, because this should give you 30 speed. So you instantly outspeed anyone as an assassin. But this light cone for Defender, right? It is... it basically introduces the ability for any defender to act as like Baranga in Epic 7. And defender right now in PvP, specifically Hilde and Emily, they are like really, really fucking good in PvP. And Emily is perfect with this Lycone because you want your Emily to get hit and act as a shielder so that you can reduce the cooldown of your ultimate. So it is really, really nice. But the only reason why it's not in tier 5 is because it only works against defenders. But if you do run defenders, which I think, to be completely fair, everyone is running Emily, right? Everyone is running Emily, and if you go PvP, everyone's running Hilde. The usage rate for this is like super, super high. So I would highly recommend getting Lycone. It's very nice. You have coomed your last coom, my man.